Genesis chapter 21. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had promised, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah bore, Isaac. Abraham circumcised Isaac on the 8th day, just as God commanded. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. Sarah said, God has made me to laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and on the day of his weaning Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw Ishmael, the son of Hagar the Egyptian, mocking. She said to Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son Isaac. The thing was very grievous to Abraham because of Ishmael, but God said, Do not let it be grievous in your sight because of the lad or because of the bondwoman. In all that Sarah has said, listen to her voice, for in Isaac shall your seed be called. But also of the son of the bondwoman I will make a nation, because he is your seed. So Abraham rose early in the morning, took bread and a skin of water, and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder along with the boy, and sent her away. She wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water was gone, she placed Ishmael under a shrub and sat at a distance, saying, Let me not see the death of the child. She lifted up her voice and wept. God heard the voice of the boy. The angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said, What troubles you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the boy, and hold him in your hand, for I will make him a great nation. God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She filled the bottle and gave the lad drink. God was with Ishmael, and he grew and lived in the wilderness, becoming an archer. He dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife from Egypt. At that time Abimelech, with Phicol the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, God is with you in all that you do. Swear to me here by God that you will not deal falsely with me, or with my son, or with my grandson, but according to the kindness I have shown you, you will do to me and to the land where you sojourn. Abraham said, I will swear. He reproved Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this thing. You did not tell me, and I heard nothing of it until today. So Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and the two made a covenant. Abraham set 7 ewe lambs apart. Abimelech asked, What mean these 7 ewe lambs? Abraham replied, These you will take from my hand, that they may be a witness that I have dug this well. Therefore that place was called Beersheba, because they both swore there. They made a covenant at Beersheba, and Abimelech with Phicol returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called upon the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistines many days. Genesis chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham. He said unto him, Abraham. And he replied, Here I am. God said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go into the land of Moriah. Offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will show you. Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, along with Isaac his son. He split the wood for the burnt offering, and they went toward the place God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. He said to the young men, Stay here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. He took fire in his hand and a knife, and they both went together. Isaac spoke, My father. Abraham said, Here am I, my son. Isaac asked, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham replied, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went together. They came to the place God had told him. Abraham built an altar, laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac, placing him on the altar upon the wood. Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called from heaven, Abraham, Abraham. He answered, Here I am. The angel said, Do not lay your hand on the lad, neither do anything unto him. For now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Abraham lifted his eyes and saw a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. He went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh. The Lord will provide. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven, saying, By myself have I sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing and not withheld your son, your only son. In blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven and the sand on the seashore. Your seed shall possess the gates of their enemies, and in your seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelled there. After these things it was told to Abraham, Behold, Milcah also has borne children to your brother Nahor. Uz his firstborn, Buz his brother, Kemuel the father of Aram, Chesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. His concubine, Rumah, also bore Tebah, Gaham, Tahash, and Makkah. And Genesis chapter 23. Voiceover. Script. And Sarah was 127 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Abraham rose up from before his dead, and spoke to the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession for a burial place among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. The sons of Heth answered, Hear us, my lord, you are a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres bury your dead. None of us will withhold from you his tomb. But Abraham bowed himself and said, If it is your will that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which is at the end of his field. Let him give it to me for the full price as a possession for a burying place among you. Ephron the Hittite answered, Nay, my lord, hear me. The field I give you, and the cave that is therein, I give it you. In the presence of the sons of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead. But Abraham bowed and spoke again. If you will give it, I pray you, hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. Ephron replied, My lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between me and you? Bury, therefore, your dead. Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out to him the silver, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. So the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, before Mamre, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth. After this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And the field, and the cave that is therein, were made sure unto Abraham as a possession for a burying place by the sons of Heth. Genesis, chapter 24. Voiceover. Script. And Abraham was old, well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed him in all things. Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, who ruled over all that he had, Put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and earth, that you will not take a wife for my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. But you shall go to my country and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son Isaac. The servant said, Perhaps the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I bring your son again to the land from where you came? Abraham answered, Beware that you do not bring my son there again. The Lord God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and spoke to me, swore unto me, saying, Unto your seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there." The servant swore and departed with 10 camels laden with Abraham's goods, journeying to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. By evening he made the camels kneel outside the city by a well of water. He prayed, "O Lord God of my master Abraham, I pray you, send me good speed this day. Behold, I stand by the well, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. Let it be that the damsel to whom I say, 'Let down your pitcher, I pray, that I may drink,' and she replies, 'Drink, and I will give your camels drink also. Let her be the one you have appointed for Isaac.'" Before he had finished speaking, Rebekah came out with her pitcher upon her shoulder. She was very fair to look upon, a virgin. She went down to the well, filled her pitcher, and came up. The servant ran to meet her and said, "Let me, I pray, drink a little water of your pitcher." She said, "Drink, my lord." And when he had drunk, she said, "I will draw water for your camels also." She quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again to draw for all the camels. The servant, wondering at her, held his peace to know if the Lord had made his journey prosperous. When the camels had finished drinking, the man gave her a golden earring and 2 bracelets of gold. He asked, "Whose daughter are you? Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge?" She answered, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, whom she bore unto Nahor. We have straw and provender, and room to lodge." The man bowed his head and worshipped the Lord. Rebekah ran to tell her mother's house. Her brother Laban came and saw the earring and bracelets, and said, "Come in, blessed of the Lord. Why stand outside?" The servant came into the house, ungirded the camels, and was given food. But he said, "I will not eat until I have told my errand." They said, "Speak on." He told them how Abraham had charged him, how he had prayed at the well, and how Rebekah fulfilled the sign. Laban and Bethuel answered, "The thing proceeds from the Lord. We cannot speak unto you bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be your master's son's wife, as the Lord has spoken." When Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed to the earth before the Lord. He gave jewels of silver, gold, and garments to Rebekah, and precious things to her brother and mother. They ate and tarried overnight. In the morning he said, "Send me away unto my master." Her family said, "Let the damsel abide with us a few days, at least 10. But he replied, "Do not hinder me, seeing the Lord has prospered my way." They called Rebekah and asked, "Will you go with this man?" She answered, "I will go." They blessed Rebekah. "You are our sister. Be the mother of thousands of millions, and let your seed possess the gate of those who hate them." Rebekah arose with her nurse and maidens, and rode upon camels, following the servant. Isaac came from the way of the well Lahairoi, for he dwelt in the south country. He went out to meditate in the field at evening, and lifted his eyes and saw camels coming. Rebekah lifted her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she alighted from the camel. She said to the servant, "What man is this that walks in the field to meet us?" The servant answered, "It is my master." She took a veil and covered herself. The servant told Isaac all things he had done. Isaac brought Rebekah into his mother Sarah's tent, and she became his wife. And he loved her. Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Genesis chapter 25. And Abraham took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shuah. Jokshan fathered Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, and Leumim. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. All these were the children of Keturah, and Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. But to the sons of his concubines Abraham gave gifts, and while he yet lived, he sent them away from Isaac his son, eastward, unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 175 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost, and died in a good old age, an old man, and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased of the children of Heth. There was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac. And Isaac dwelt by Beer-lahai-roi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bore unto Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their villages and encampments, 12 princes according to their nations. And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. He gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people. They dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as you go toward Assyria. And he fell in the presence of all his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. After that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob boiled pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Genesis chapter 26. Voiceover script. And there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, lest the men of the place should kill him because of Rebekah, for she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw Isaac sporting with Rebekah his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? Isaac answered him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this you have done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and you should have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew exceedingly, until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. So Isaac departed from thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. He called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well, and for that they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And Isaac built an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, with Ahuzath his friend, and Phicol the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink, and they rose up betimes in the morning, and swore one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day, that Isaac's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and Rebekah. Genesis, chapter 27, voiceover script. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold now, I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and hunt me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Now Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went, and fetched, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father. And he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near, and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Genesis, chapter 27, 5. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am Esau, thy firstborn, my father. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hunted venison, and brought it me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And the words of Rebekah her son told, and she sent and called Jacob her son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? So Jacob went out from the presence of Isaac his father, and fled to Haran. Genesis chapter 28, voiceover script. And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a company of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. So Jacob left Beersheba, and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thy seed, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee, until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat, and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God, and this stone, which I have set for a pillar, shall be God's house, and of all that thou shalt give me I will surely give the tenth unto thee. Genesis chapter 29. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came unto the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, there was a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And Jacob said unto the shepherds, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, and until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother, And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he tarried with him a month's time. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave Zilpah his maid to his daughter Leah to be her maid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou deceived me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave Bilhah his maid to Rachel to be her maid. And Jacob went in also unto Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. Genesis, chapter 30. When Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a second son. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh. And she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for I have surely hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob the 6th son. And Leah said, God hath endowed me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and she said, The Lord shall add to me another son.